Dr. Khoza kicked off with a matter-of-fact observation about the emergence of a strange breed of leaders who are determined to undermine the rule of law and override the Constitution. He also went on to lambast, and I quote, the putative leaders who, due to sheer incapacity to deal with the complexity of 21st century governance and leadership, cannot lead. He did not mention anybody's name. He did not mention any political party. Those words stung like a swarm of bees. Those whom the Khoza cap fitted, he let them wear it, and they wore it shamelessly. At another time, in a different occasion, I might have proceeded to give you the details of the savage attacks that rained on poor old Reuel Khoza as a result of his 145 words at the time. But I'll spare you all of that today. Unknowingly, perhaps, Nelson Mandela foretold what would happen 7 years later when, in 2005, he said this of Reuel Khoza, and I quote him, "Reuel has been a prophet in his own country. But as the saying goes, he has not always been honored." End of quote. That was Nelson Mandela. It was not so much the 145 words themselves that troubled people who chose to be troubled by them. It was Khoza's perceived temerity to utter them in the first place, to do so in that precise way, at that precise moment, and in the context of an annual report. In 145 pithy words, Khoza uttered what many were thinking, but lacked the words. He expressed what millions were feeling, but lacked the courage to articulate. Though his gaze reaches far, Dr. Khoza's feet have remained firmly planted on the ground for the longest time. For this reason, he is seldom content with mere comment or sheer lament. Although he is a man of breathtaking imagination, he is quintessentially a problem solver, a businessman who is driven by a high work ethic, love for people, country, and continent. There is therefore a sense of pragmatism. He himself calls it pragmatic idealism that cuts through his life and work. This approach to life and to business has been the hallmark of the Reuel Khoza way. In his preface to Reuel Khoza's Let Africa Lead, Thabo Mbeki correctly observed that the Khoza approach, and I quote, has two main thrusts, moral and economic, end of quote. Combined with an enthusiasm for the cultivation and the exercise of transformational leadership, the dialectic of the moral and the economic seem to form a golden thread in the revolutionary thought of Reuel Khoza. If the rich notion of Ubuntu is the great reservoir from which he draws ethical lessons and moral principles, his own character was formed in the lessons bequeathed him by his parents, his rural childhood, as well as his roles in corporate South Africa, which are too many to mention here. For Khoza, Africa and Africans matter. He has firmly and consistently lived and believed that Africa can lead. For him, therefore, Africa is not out there, but it is in here. Africa is not them, but it is us. It is in this sense that throughout his career, Khoza has insisted on the necessity of building an Africa, and I quote him, where the hallowed teachings of our ancestors will direct us how to live our lives now and how to plan for the future. In this Africa, he goes on, there is no conflict between relational logic and economic logic. The ideal Africa is one that has successfully translated its concepts of humanity and communal relations into cooperative models of governance, institutional and individual relations. I could go on, but I'll stop here for the sake of time. I opened my brief tour into the picturesque thought landscapes of Dr. Reuel Khoza by making reference to his revolutionary 145 words of 2011-2012. And I want to say that he was correct to suggest, and in some ways to foresee, that we do live in an era of a strange breed of leaders. In our country, on the continent, in Europe, East and West, in Asia, in North America, I could mention many names of these strange breed of leaders. However, we can take comfort in the secure knowledge that in Reuel Khoza we have not a strange breed of a leader, but rather a rare breed of a leader. In fact, the title of my talk is Reuel Jethro Khoza, a rare breed of a leader. Somewhere in the first third of his Let Africa Lead book, Khoza revisits in that book the idea of African ways of interpreting reality, which he calls the hermeneutic method, and how the teachings of his own grandfather introduced him to that method. He notes in a quote how missionaries and teachers used to frown upon the serious study of indigenous beliefs and practices, and how his grandfather carried on and encouraged him and validated Xitsonga culture, and in that way created a sense of pride in him. There is therefore no doubt in my mind that none other than Dr. Khoza will appreciate my desire to conclude my brief reconnaissance in Xitsonga idiom. Manukuke, dingasinaya tindava, dingasi bohelela fundu ransomo, mingo ningulungu janomu, nditakota kungena eka nsumo ndiloncha. Ndilava kuranga hi ku tisweka phungula men'winyi, ni ta suka rikumba dzedze. Ni ku ti tlhavela makanja, ndi ta suka ntsikwantsikwani. Hi nga ni lekelelani eku ya khwaja marito ya ku pangalata Reuel, jaha ra ka ripanga. A ndzi lave ku phata Reuel a kondza a phateka, mi ta sala mi n'wi phatulula n'wini. Exivindzini xa muti wa Arthur City lextasini xa kereke ya Sembelela na ya Nazareta kwale manhombeleni le kaya Bushbuck Ridge, ku na swipfuketani kwale Mpfungwe, ko wa xiphongo xa xibyele xi ku mhe. Eku heleni ka N'wendzamhala hi lembe ra 1949. Hewe! Hi loko Reuel a ta ku bya gayisa, ndzumulo ya rumbu ra Sindisani n'wa Jikisoni, ntombi ya ka Nkwinika, yena nkata masaswivona Pius Khoza. wa mbayimbayi wa Tsovankanyi wa N'wamagenge, mavona kule na le kusuhi wo vona valala va nga si humelela, yena mahorha nsisi hi ngati ya valala. N'wina va ka Khoza, ngopfu wena N'watheledi nkata Reuel na n'wina vana Nkateko na Mnene xikan'we ni vatukulu, ha mi khensa loko mi hi kurisele tata wa n'wina a kula a kondza a ku tani, a ninginisa minkuhlu, minkanyi na swimuwu leswi nyamuntlha mi hi vonaka hi ri karhi hi rholela mihandzu ya kona. Me a ndzi kanakani leswo makwenu Muchaveleri Martin na N'waJikson ntombi ya ka Zita na Masaswivona nuna wa kona na vahaha ni Katrina Saleleni na vakokwa wa n'wina hinkwavo va karhi eku tiba swifuva hi nkarhi lowu, va tiba swifuva ni ku tinyungubyisa hi rhari wa n'wina. Se ni ya va nga kona le Khoseni hala haya ka Sirha. I want to end my short intervention with a song. And this song comes from a different era and a different musical idiom. You won't find it in your hymn books, and you won't find it in the school choral music. With this song, I honor the memory of the grandfather who raised Dr. Khoza and taught him to love his culture. N'wamagenge u fambe kanjhani manhombeleni we, rhumelani vanhu lava ya ku Joni ka valungu, va byela Reuel n'wananga a ngwetlisa vuyo, i tlhontlhe nyimpa tsutsumo a nga ka nga poni n'wananga. Hi nga byelani Reuel n'wananga a tshika swa Jona vuya kaya, i qale nyimpa baleko a nga ka nga lunghi n'wananga. Lava ka Vandermeve a va kwatangi hi yoha onge ti ri zuzu n'wananga, ri ndlhula ndleleni a ndlhula kandziyo, wa nga vuya nyano Reuel masiku manharhu n'wananga. Hi ya khumela a ku khumela i homu na mbute, iyo a va na risizi kwalano. Xikhala mazula xa mina maja, xikhala mazula xa mina bava ha ku saseka ka xono, ni boha nhlokweni na nkayela mani swa fano, va ka hina mari vona bombo. Xigange matiko hinkwawo lexi, xigange matiko hinkwawo ko sala ka mhinga ku nga kule, kambe xi ta ya fiko. Xi zule matiko hinkwawo lexi, xi zule matiko hinkwawo ko sala ka hina ku nga kule, kambe xi ta ya fiko. Mani wa tirhela maja, mani wa tirhela wo teka xifula xa wena, kambe i ngo dlaya na mani wa wenu. Mani wa tirhela mani wa tirhela u nga vi teka xifula xa wena u dlaya na mana wa wenu. Hemfa xinamayeza mfana xinamayeza, hemfa hemfa Reuel mbayimbayi Tsovankanyi N'wamagenge. Inkomo.